Hello, Skull. Hey, how you doing, Periscope family? All right, thanks for joining me here. This is Brian Larson up here in Virginia Beach. All right, now I'm just going to be getting some... Hey, Liz, thanks for joining. I appreciate that. I'm up in my little new workspace. Got my little cord hanging here. So, hey, the Angry Korean, thanks for joining. I'm just making the challah bread. I'm just getting back online here. So I scoped just a few minutes ago, letting people know I'm going to be... joining here in a few minutes. I'm just dividing the dough up right now. Let me get this brought in a little bit more here. I'm trying not to have my phone fall. Maybe that's a bit better. I'll bring it back a little bit over here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just dividing up the dough right now. Oh, you're working too? All right. Hey, Layers of Sweet, thanks for joining back. I'm just getting my dough divvied up right now here, and just getting my scaling on. Oh, you're in a candy bar. What the heck? Chef 757. Oh, you in the 757? Oh my gosh, I'm right here in Virginia Beach as well. Oh my gosh, you need to follow me, Twitter me, man. Go ahead to blars63. You got to follow me, man, and or Twitter me. We'll have to get together. We need to do a Perry meetup here in yes, Toy Store candy bar. Oh my God, that's crazy. All right, so I'm just scaling up the doughs here. All right, and what I'm just going to be making a couple loaves of bread. Hot dogs, hey, the Angry Korean. There you go. That's hilarious. What a funny name. My life's a hoot. Oh my gosh, I've seen you around before. Cool. Thanks for joining, you guys. Yeah, I'm making some what's called holiday challah. It's what they'll typically have at Rosh Hashsannah, which is the Jewish New Year. I mean, this is what they call the Feast of the Trumpet. Okay, and so I'm making some challah bread. I'm going to be making 4 loaves here. Dude, you are chop your fingers off. You're looking at cutting. Oh no, I can do this stuff pretty good. I've chopped a few days. Hey, how you doing? I missed who that was there. Buttercup 72. What kind of bread you making? I'm making challah bread. It's challah is the actual pronunciation. It's an egg bread, a traditional Jewish Sabbath type of bread. So that's what we're making now. I'm making some loaves here. These are just going to be rolled up. Hey, Buttercup. Hey, oh, you've had challah. Cool. Awesome. All right. I'm just getting these things measured out here. We got 1, 4. Okay, thanks for joining, you guys. Claire, hey, all right, thanks for joining. Here we go. I'm going to get this worked out. I'm just getting my dough scaled up. This can be 26 ounces. Okay, all right. I just got my dough scaled up here. I got things ready to go. And this is, let's make this one a little bit better. Okay, and what we have now, one of the things when you make challah bread, traditionally challah bread, you'll notice in the stores is like a braided bread. Hey, thanks a lot, appreciate you, glad you enjoy it. I'm just going to be taking these chunks of dough. These are about 7.5, 8-ounce pieces. I scaled them up into 8-ounce pieces, and then I'm just going to round them up. Now I've got a little action I'm used to doing. I baked a little bit. So, and all you have to do is just kind of, you're just trying to get a nice smooth skin, knock out some of the bubbles. Set them off to the side here. And the same thing right here. Thanks for joining, KK. And if you guys know of anybody that might be interested in seeing this, share it on Twitter, invite your followers, and throw up a couple hearts even. But it's kind of fun. I'm doing this. I'm going to go over the challah bread a little bit when it comes to the significance of the holiday challah. I've been making a holiday challah for, oh my gosh, probably 20-some years. Do you own a store, or is it just for your family? I bake mainly for friends and family. We're working on the whole store bit right now. My name is Everton. I'm from Brazil. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Thanks for saying hi. Do follow me or get me on Twitter as well. Okay, so I've got these things right here. These guys, I've got some chunks of dough over here. This is going to make 2 loaves of challah bread, a traditional style, just in a pan bread. That's just going to be for here at the house, just because I like challah bread. We're out of bread. I just made some Friday. We've already gone through 2 loaves of bread. And then now this is good. We're going to be making for the holiday challah. Okay. Now I've got 2 chunks of dough right here. One of them is just going to be what's called a plain challah. Okay. Oh, cool. Thanks for saying you decided. Now what I'm doing again here is just doing a little bit of what's called a rounding, and I'm trying to just fold it. You can see what I'm doing here. See, I pull back, push down, pinch it. And all I'm trying to do is get about 8 or 10 folds, and it gives me kind of a smooth skin on the dough. Okay, this one, the one for the holidays, has raisins. That's right. Now, there's 2 versions. You know, one of them has raisins because it signifies the bounty, the blessing. Hey, Sam. Sam's in the house. Okay, and it signifies, the raisins signify the blessing, you know, the bountifulness of the Lord, and just the blessing there. And so actually now the raisins I'm actually going to put into one. But a lot of people don't like the raisins, like my kids, they don't like it. Hey, Sam. Now what I've done is I've got the raisins in this is an old mixing bowl that I got from my mom. I love my mom, she's awesome. And so she gave this to me years ago, so I get to keep it in my family. It's an old crock. It's what I use a lot for my bread rising. So what I do now is I've just got the raisins, and I put a little touch of water, not much, but maybe a tablespoon or 2 of water on top of the raisins, and kind of got the raisins just kind of damp. Because the skin on a raisin is real dry. So it's going to pull moisture from the dough. So I just added a little bit of water, and all I'm doing now is essentially just folding the dough. I'm going to pick this up here so you can see. Hey, Scott, thanks for joining. And I'm just folding the dough in the bowl just so we can get the raisins folded in. And you see they're going to be flopping out, so I'm just going to push it and pinch it over, fold it over, and just working it. It's just a simple folding action. You just kind of stretch it out, fold it over, and just keep doing a series of that and working the raisins in. Like you can see here, I'm just kind of making sure I get more of the raisins, like a whole bunch of them there, and just kind of fold them in. Now if I had it on the mixer, I'd use the mixer to kind of fold it in, but when I'm just making a loaf or 2, I just use my hands to kind of work it in. And just do the simple folding. It takes a second, maybe a minute or 2, but unless you're talking like me, then it probably takes like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. So then, but just folding it in, and it's going to get a little bit sticky. You'll notice a little bit of stickiness to it, but it doesn't take long, and most of the raisins get kind of worked into the dough. Okay. Now what I'll do now is I'm going to take this. Is this all artisan? No, actually, it's when you say artisan, that's kind of a general term, meaning handmade. Or something of that order. This is actually my bowl out of the way here. I use a baker's yeast to let it rise. Okay, and so I'm just going to put a little bit of flour here, and then I'm just going to be folding the raisins in. A lot of them are in the dough, but I just got to get them worked all the way through. So I'm going to do a little bit of a folding. So I use some just regular compressed yeast. I don't use the active dry or instant yeast. It's just some fresh cake yeast, and but it's not a naturally leavened product. But I'm just folding this in to get these raisins worked in, so they go all the way through it. And then right now they're kind of inside, but you can start to see them start busting out. They're working their way through the dough, and it's kind of sticky because remember I put a little bit extra water with them. And I just put a little bit of flour on the table. Just going to get these raisins in here as they're bouncing around all over the table. Do I use a mixer? Yeah, I can. It depends on how big a batch I'm making. If I'm just going to make a couple loaves of bread, I might just pump in a mixer. I might just do it by hand. Just kind of whatever I got a hankering for at that time. Okay? And then, as I'm working this through here, just getting it kneaded and worked out. Okay. There we go. And I think the raisins are kind of mixed up pretty well through it. I only folded it for about a minute or 2 here. Hey, Liz. Oh, hey, get to work. Hey, you guys follow Liz. She's awesome. Her and her husband Homer do some excellent jobs on some scopes with some cakes, cupcakes, candy work. All right, thanks, Buttercup. Appreciate that. Now the Esty, thank you very much. All right, so now I've got this guy's all ready to go. Okay. All right, and now that's one loaf for the holiday challah. And now this other one here, here's the other one here, but this one, a standard recipe, just how many raisins do you have to add? Now I usually add, when I add raisins to something, it's usually going to be about 25 to maybe a 35% of the weight. In other words, about a quarter. If I use 6 ounces of raisin, then I'm going to add about 18 ounces or 20 ounces of dough, something like that. But around 25%, maybe about a third. So then I've got this guy right here. Okay, so these guys, now that I've kind of worked them, can you please give us an email to request a simple bread? Yes, actually, you can email me at Brian at breadscope, Brian at breadscope.com, and then I'll take a day or two, something, but I'll get you a recipe here. Now these guys we're just going to let rest over here. Just got done working them up. Okay. Now I've got these other ones that I rolled out earlier. These are just going to be for a loaf of bread. These are just going to be. We go through a lot of bread at our house. That's Brian at breadscope.com. That's correct. Brian on readscope.com. No, it's a breadscope. Okay. Just like if you go on the title, if you swipe up, you'll see the title. It says at breadscope. That's a Twitter name, but that's also you can the breadscope. I have a site here. I'll be right back. I'll wipe my hands off quick. Okay. These guys are just going to be made into loaves. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll them out. What I'm doing is just making them into logs. These are just going to be for the regular challahs. The holiday challahs, I'm just letting them rest for a second. Can I make matzo balls next time? Never made matzo balls. But for being a gentle guy, genteel. Alright, this here. There we go. And I'm just getting these rolled out. Matzo balls is pretty good. Okay, and these guys here. I got these just kind of partially rolled out. Now I'm going to take them and roll them the rest of the way out. You're missing the beginning. Yeah, what we're doing is we're making a holiday challah. I'm actually making a couple other like regular challahs right now. But we're going to go with a holiday challah, which is going to be a long loaf that I make and roll it up like a beehive. When you look at the profile, the Twitter handle is under it. If you can tweet it live, scope 2. Okay. Yes, I'm on catch.me. Yeah, so I am on there. So it would be catch.me under BLARS, B-L-A-R-S 63. You can go and view the replays there at catch.me as well. And knocking these guys out here. Yeah, the challahs are pretty cool because actually with BLARS with 2 S's. B-L-A-R-S-S 63. Kind of like a Swedish, I'm a old Swede here. Kind of like the Swedish style. Okay, now I'm going to take, I'm going to pop up a spray here. Just going to hit the... Okay, and I've got three of those strands right here. That's it right there. Yeah, catch.me/BLAR63. Now, if you go to that, you'll be able to catch all my replays. The one here for the holiday challah is pretty cool. So now, and I'm just braiding this. I see the camera is a little high, so let me get this moved back over here. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a braid for just a regular loaf of challah that I'm going to put in a loaf pan. Just knocking these guys out because we need some bread at the household here. Hey, thanks for stopping in here. And then once we get that here, just taking the loaf of bread, braided challah right there. Got that. And we're just going to pop that in one of the pans here. We'll set that guy on to rise. And we'll get the last other ones here rolled out real quick. Rolled out. Doo-doo. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Hey, is that Roma? Roma 2000X. Okay, Buttercup. Thanks, Buttercup. Appreciate that. Somebody needs to come visit here. You got to come help me make some of the bread. So, but we're going to do another bread scopes. And I'm just about got these guys rolled out. So we got one here. And Laser Sweet, thank you very much for that. And then we got the strands right here. Now we're going to take these, just like you're going to braid. Maybe you guys braid your kids' hairs. I don't do that anymore. Now they're in the form of grandkids. Hey, Sam, hey, thanks for inviting your followers. So I'm just going to be getting the challah bread here, just getting this knocked out here. These couple loaves, and then this is just, again, this is the just a regular loaf of challah. And it's just right there, just a nice braided loaf of bread. Okay, and these guys here, so we're making 2 of those. Now we're going to get into the holiday challah. The holiday challah is a little different. That's something that we're going to take and actually roll out into a really long strand. Okay, So what I'm going to do here is just going to take this, kind of roll it up a little bit. It's going to take a little bit to roll it out because it's going to make it about at least a good 4 feet long, okay? And it's going to be tapered. It's going to be a little fatter at one end. So I'm just going to be working the dough, nice long strokes. When you're working out dough, use long strokes. Try to keep your hands kind of level, parallel to the table. Just slightly putting down pressure, making sure that you're, being nice and uniform with long strokes. If you sit there, you just kind of work it, it kind of flattens it out. Doesn't help at all. So just make nice long strokes with it. And then the dough is going to, once you work the dough for a little while, it gets kind of tough. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it off to the side right here. And then I'm going to start working on the raisin one. Okay? So we'll just start working that. And again, nice long strokes. And if the dough gets tough, you don't have to fight the dough. Work with it. You can, if you're at home doing stuff, there's always something you can go do for a minute or two and then come back. Careful not to forget it or you're going to have big old chunks of dough here. All right, so again, I'm just making some nice long strokes. Working it out, and then, so this is going to get a lot longer, okay? So we got one done right here. Then we're going to go back to this one a little bit, set this one off, let it relax. Now this one's just a little bit more relaxed to it. Then again, I'm going to do, now if it needs a little bit more flour dust, just a little bit, not a whole lot there. Hi, you're from Cleveland? Hey, Greer, thanks for stopping in. Here we go. And so I'm just going to be making some whoopee. We got so thunder boomers. Oh, in the desert. Oh my God. You got some thunderstorms? Okay, so now I'm starting to get a little bit more of a taper on it. Just a regular round challah. How do you make it? Okay, the regular round ones, I'll show you in just a second. I'm just working this out. You can't quite see this end. But I'm just working it out. Hey, oh, Tiffany. Okay, hey, thanks for saying hi. Thank you. And I'm making it a little bit fatter on one end, and it's going to get thinner all the way down to the other. So I'm going to start working more in the middle and get a nice thin taper all the way down. And then in just a minute, we'll make the round challah, okay? Okay. There we go. All right, now what I have, let me take up the phone here. Okay, I'm going to just switch this around a little bit. Let me tap it around here. Tap, tap. There we go. Okay, now, as you can see, I've got, Rosh, you're going to be Scott's wife. Cool. You're going to be baking tomorrow. Awesome. What are you going to bake? Okay. As you can see, the holiday challah, see how it's fatter down here? And then it tapers all the way down, and it's going to be it's probably a good 4 feet long. Okay, you can see the length of that. Okay, so it's a good 4 feet long. Oh my gosh, the hearts are down here. Whoop whoop, crazy cool. I think that's the first time I've done landscape. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let me get this set up so you can see how I'm actually going to be making the round challah. Okay, now that I've got it shaped, we're going to start right in the middle, okay? Thanks, Tiffany, for inviting your followers. We're going to start in the middle, and we're just going to, something surprisingly healthy. You'll have to watch. Oh, cool. We'll have to check it out. Okay, now with this, we're going to start with right in the middle, and we're just going to make a kind of a curl. See how this kind of curls? And then I'm just going to bring the dough around it and carry the dough around it. Okay, landscape. Android doesn't have landscape yet? Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just too much into my bread. All right, so then I'm just going to carry the dough around it. Make sure you don't kind of twist the dough, but just kind of bring it. You kind of carry the dough around it, and you're just making a nice circle. So the dough itself is just touching. Let me do this with the camera looking down here. Okay. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm not putting a lot of pressure. See how the dough is just barely touching? You want to, because the dough is going to be expanding. It's going to be growing. Okay. It's a challah bread. It's really good. So you don't want to have it too tight. If you have the roll too tight in the center, it's going to pop up. What you're trying to do is create a nice shape. Now, and also sometimes you see how it's just a little bit of a gap in there, just barely touching it. Now, generally, I like to have a little bit more loops on it. So this is only going to be like 1, 2. Okay. Now I can see how it goes 1, and then 2. Generally, I'd like to have it. Now, this little guy here, you just make a little tail on it, bring it around, and then you're just going to put him underneath that so it stays just like that. Okay? I like to have a little bit more. Happy New Year! Absolutely. Rosh Hashsannah, Feast of the Trumpets. So that's our first loaf of the holiday challah. Okay? And the plain. Now we're going to finish up on the raisin. Now what we're going to do is I have a bread pan right here. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to pop that guy right here. And I'm just going to put this guy, pick it up, and put it right on the pan right here. Okay? I'm going to put the other one over here. Now these guys may grow together, but that's okay. You know, it's just going to be me here for the household. And if I want them big and poofy, I'd either make this a little bit smaller or just have them a little bit apart there. So, but that's the first one. Okay. Didn't see your comment there. Rod Smith already did a... Oh, yeah, I did a couple of challahs. Let me turn this around here. Now we're going to do the raisin challah. Okay. Get that set up here. I need to get one of those clamps so they have stuff up and over here. So we got one done already. There we go, like that. Okay. And then the other thing too is now the next one here is just going to do the raisin. This one will roll out nice and quick. It's been relaxing pretty good. I'm going to make this one, try to make it a little bit longer. But not, so again, it's going to be about a good 4 feet. So I'm going to roll it out all the way across the table, my little squeaky table. And get this rolled out here. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Hey, Elvie. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. Okay, here we go. So this guy here is going to be hopefully a little bit longer. Okay. Nice and long. Again, I'm rolling it out real long to get the loops as I make the ring. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, you guys. This is something I realized, oh my gosh, it's Rosh Hashanah. I haven't made any holiday challah. I always make holiday challah. Okay. Now this is where I want you to watch. Now when you make this, take a dough and then don't just kind of take it and twirl it around. Relax the dough. Keep the dough kind of going around it. See how I'm just carrying the dough around? Okay. No, I'm not. I'm not Jewish. Okay, but I'm Christian. I believe that God, bless us all through the Jews, give us a wonderful salvation, and so I'm making some holiday challah for a new year here. Okay, and now I'm just going to taper the tent. See the end of this? I'm just going to pinch it out here, so it makes a little tail. Okay, then I'm going to take this and just kind of pinch it underneath the dough, so it kind of stays underneath there. Okay. And now these guys are going to grow pretty big, okay? They're going to double up here, and then these guys are going to pop up here. This one you can see it's got a nice. It looks a little fat here. To me, I'm going to kind of bring this out a little bit. I like in particular probably should have just put them on their own pan, but you just got to run out of baking room when it comes to that. Now this guy's a little too close to the edge. Let me set the camera up real quick while I can just get this guy adjusted right here, okay? Okay, just trying to get it centered on the pan a little bit. Okay. Go. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, now, as you can see, this is the round holiday challah. You got, the circle the way it goes. And the thing is if you twist this when you just kind of wing it around and don't really kind of pay much attention, what happens, it can twist it and then it ends up kind of misshaping the center of it. There's a couple little tricks that you want to do to kind of practice with them. And then the raisin is wonderful. Now, most of the time, I actually use, instead of the dark raisins, I use a golden raisin. Now, some people don't like the golden raisins because of the sulfites that you use, okay? But there are some lighter ones as well. But I had regular raisins in hand. I love the raisins. And so this is what's going to happen now. So we're just going to put this guy right here. Got these guys right here. And then they're going to rise up. And they're probably going to take about a half hour, 45 minutes. Now, Roz, that's a good idea to put poppy seeds on them. I'm not very big into poppy seeds. And the reason I'm not into poppy seeds because I work at Geico. And poppy seeds can get residual in your system. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna have any poppy seeds. I just don't want any kind of traces of any drugs or whatever. So I'm like, sorry, because and we're out here in Virginia Beach, there's a lot of military, and those guys do the same thing. They just kind of avoid it like the plague, just because they don't want to put themselves in a position where there's a difficult spot. Okay, and so what I'm doing now is just getting a little bit of a plastic cover, and just to keep Geico's my insurance. I save lots of money. Oh, that's cool. All right, that's awesome. But I sell a motorcycle, and what I'm doing now, I'll show you. I'm just putting a little bit of a plastic cover, okay, and just some plastic sheeting, over the breads. This will help keep them from getting dried out. I'm just going to take this and I do a little bit of a spray with the pan release, and then you can put that down. So that keeps the plastic from actually sticking to the dough. It's a nice little trick that I like to use. So I can just use a piece of plastic. Don't have to worry about the plastic ripping off the top of the dough. Just a little spray of pan release on there. And then these guys are going to rise for, about a half hour. So here we go. Here, let's tap it around one more time. There we got the holiday challah. We got 2 loaves. This is what's going to be for eating over the next couple of days for me personally. And while these guys are, poppy seeds are used, they are very heavily used in Indian cooking. Okay. Oh, is that right? Oh, you make a good challah bread? Oh, that is so cool. That's great. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, and Buttercup, I will be doing some egg wash. I take a whole egg, add just a little bit of water to it, and brush that on top. One thing I'm going to try today that I just read about is that sometimes they would put honey on the top of the loaf. Okay, so one of the loaves I'm actually going to brush with some, I'll heat up some honey with a little bit of water and it should actually give it some gorgeous, gorgeous color. Okay, yeah, the challah makes excellent French toast. And one thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit on the history of, and I got to talk with my hands. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the challah bread. Okay, because you use anise seeds. Oh my gosh, how do you use the anise seeds? Do you put them on top? I absolutely love anise seeds. Being Swedish here. Oh my gosh, yeah. Tell me, guys, how you use your anise seeds. If you put them on the top, that sounds like amazing. I never tried that. Never thought of that. Okay. To let you guys know, one of the reasons why I don't know maybe you guys some of you are Jewish, maybe you're not, but challah bread is a typical bread that's eaten with the Sabbath meal. Friday evening, when the Sabbath starts, they would always have 2 loaves of challah bread. Okay. Oh, you use aniseed in cookies? Oh yeah. Oh man, and that's some ground up aniseeds and cookies, some anise cookies. I make a rye bread with anise and a little bit of caraway with honey. It's called it's a limpa. It's a Swedish rye bread. Awesome. Okay. And hopefully you guys are getting reception here. I'm not sure. I only see like 2 folks in a room. It went from 20 down to 2, but I hope everything's coming through. What I wanted to talk about with the challah is the typical Jewish is going to be on the Sabbath evening, and they'll have 2 loaves of bread. Okay, and what they'll do, the challah represents everybody's. Okay, you guys can hear? Cool. Okay, use anise oil. It's very lightly and strong. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, the challah bread represents what they used to get the Israelites when they were wandering through the wilderness for all those years. God provided manna for them 6 days of the week. Okay, and on the 6th day of the week, God provided a double portion of manna. So they gathered twice of what they needed for the next day, because every day they had to gather the manna for their daily food. So what on Friday, not only did they gather the manna for Friday, but they gathered the manna for Saturday, because that was the Sabbath, and God said no working, it's a day of rest. Okay, that's why they get 2 loaves of challah for their Sabbath meal, is that it represents the double portion of blessing that God gave them on Friday. Okay, whether just the last day of the week. Okay, you made anise tea. Sounds cool. So they gave the double portion. So that again, the challah bread represents the double portions of manna that the Israelites got on the last day before the Sabbath. So that's why they always have 2. And it's really kind of cool because the challah bread is, again, this time of the year with the round loaf signifies it's called the Feast of Trumpet. It's the beginning. It's the feast of the new year, the new beginnings. Okay, So in the agricultural base, I mean, most of the Jewish, I'm actually Christian, okay? Bread and history, yeah, you never get that all the time. Okay, but it's really pretty amazing to see, because the challah bread is something that significance, is really, it's got a great history, because it ties back to something that when the Israelites were wandering through the wilderness, but God provided for them every day. So it's just a way to signify God's provision in our lives and His blessing. And then when we add the raisins to the challah, it actually adds, it's a sign of fruitfulness. There's a blessing, there's an abundance, there's a fruitfulness in it, and it's the sweet bread, so the sweetness, okay? And I've got a couple little notes I had made here. Okay, and the 2 portions. Sorry about this, I had to check my little notes out here. Okay, yeah, and it was last thing I wanted to mention, because the history of the egg bread, and it's just kind of what kind of came through the Jewish culture. There's nothing really in the Bible signifying that it has to be an egg bread or something like that, but it's just something that they've used, and being able to bring a history, bring a tradition. So for me, I like to bring that. What's the background of the braiding? I know it isn't the Trinity, but the thing is, in the Old Testament, there's a verse that says a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Okay. So in one sense, it could represent the Trinity. In the Old Testament, the representation was God is I am. I am one God. But then there's actually the revelation as you look through that God, revealed Himself gradually to mankind. There's El Shaddai. There's different names of God that over the years, over generations and generations, He revealed Himself in a larger capacity to the Israelites. It wasn't just, hey, I am, but now I'm El Shaddai. Now I'm God that heals you. I'm all these different things. So He had opened up this revelation of Himself, and the final revelation is just the revelation of Jesus, that He came in person to as a redemption for our sins, and as the whole Passover, which is a whole different ball game here. This is just the new year, okay? So the cool thing about the challah, I think in ways it can represent the Trinity. But then again, that's just one person's interpretation, of a significance of something that maybe that's important to them, But I think it's cool that the Jewish, people have had a bread that they've kind of identified as like, this is going to be significant because we're going to remember something that happened thousands of years ago, and we're going to carry this on, our tradition, to our kids. We're going to keep it going, and we've been blessed with the challah bread because that signifies something very. Thank you, bless you guys, thank you. But it's very significant, something significant that God will provide for your daily needs. Here these guys were out in the wilderness. Sometimes, and I'll tell you myself personally, there can be times in your life where you go through some struggles. You wonder, hey, don't have much of anything, but you know what? I got God, I got my family, it's all I need, and God will come through and bless you. Okay, and He's going to give you abundance. He just wants to bless through you, to keep you, to be a blessing to others, So that's why I hope I am a lot of these ways. What's the secret ingredient for good challah? Just good old passion for baking. Now, the challah bread, the key on those kind of things, exactly. God, He is our provider. He does, okay? The challah bread, some of the things that I use is just going to be a classic challah bread is going to have oil. It's not going to have any dairy in it, okay? You want to avoid the dairy. Putting, what flour do I use? I use King Arthur bread flour. Yeah, it's just, that's just what I prefer. It gives me good consistency, and it's a little more expensive, but again, I want the product to be right. I don't buy the cheapest stuff because you get what you pay for, So I love King Arthur. Yeah, and actually Walmart does carry King Arthur. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's great. But the challah, the keys on that is you got to use oil. Okay, I use a canola oil. That's a better nutritional. It's better than soy. 5 Roses is good too. Oh, you know what? I don't think I've seen or heard of 5 Roses. I like what is it? There's something out of Kansas that's short. It's a patent flour. It's a really good bread flour too. Okay, but I haven't gotten used it before. What bread maker? What kind? I don't use a bread maker. I use these. These are my bread makers. Okay, woo, kind of weird. Anyway, and I have a mixer, a KitchenAid mixer, so I use that for my bread making. It's so much more successful than I think. Honestly, The couple of times I used a bread maker, like 20, 25 years ago, I picked one up at a garage sale. I screwed it up. Every time I made the bread in the bread mixer, I couldn't make a loaf of bread in it. Yeah, 2-3 times. I'm like, forget this. Yeah, email me. It's at Brian Buttercup. Yeah, email me at Brian@breadscope, and I'll be glad to get you the challah bread recipe. Now the gold medal will work. I've used it before. It makes good bread, but it's just you need to pick one flour. Oh hey, thanks for asking about my folks. They're doing well. Got to spend some time up there in Wisconsin with them. A simple bread for toasting. I would recommend the challah bread. That is the best for toasting. It's awesome. You can use it just for so many different ways. Makes excellent French toast. If you got leftover challah bread, makes excellent bread pudding. You can use it for breadcrumbs. You can use it for any kind of croutons, whatever. It's just you were in the walleye scope. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I got to go back to the challah thing, but my mom, bless her heart, she's about 77 years old. She loved that scope. And if you were in that scope, you were just a huge blessing to my mom. She still talks about that. Says like she had so much fun having everybody in the house. For her, that you were in her home. Okay? You guys, who were joined in on that walleye, you were in my mom's house. For her, she absolutely loved it. She still talks about that. And they are the bomb. Love them to pieces here. So, speaking of my folks, here, let me show you this picture. Okay, I got a bunch of pictures from my mom and dad. Okay, this is a picture. If you guys can see, if it comes through, I don't know, but I put it on my Facebook. You guys can always look for. You're from the Twin Cities. Oh my gosh, that's my mom and my dad back in what year was it? 59. Okay, you probably aren't coming through too quickly. Anyway, but I just have to show you. I love them. But they so much enjoyed that time. So if you guys were in that walleye scope that I did, you made my mom and dad's night. They just loved it to pieces. So, okay, last thing, I'm going to answer. I'm going to go straight for the challah here. Oil, honey, okay, and egg yolks. Okay. Oh, thanks, man. Oh, my dad is awesome, isn't he? And so those are the biggest keys. Now, I put a little extra ingredient in my challah bread. I throw a little extra. It's called cardamom. Okay, I don't put much in there, and it's just a touch, for a 4-loaf batch like that. I put maybe max a half a teaspoon, okay, a quarter to half a teaspoon, but I put that in a couple other breads I make too. Now you would never know it, unless I told you I put it in there. You would never taste it, okay. The powdered cardamom, ground cardamom, gives a little background flavor, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Ross Smith. It might be my reception. We still haven't got Wi-Fi in the house. I just moved into the house. We're dealing with Verizon, trying to get Wi-Fi. They just horrible service. Anyway, but sorry about the connection problems. But the little touch of cardamom. But I bake with cardamom. I cook with cardamom. I love cardamom. And the cool thing about cardamom, it doesn't necessarily have this huge flavor on itself, but it accents everything. It just gives a huge background flavor. It's very aromatic, and I just use it for so many things. Okay, I'm yakking away here. So, but I really wanted to share a little bit on the history why the holiday challah, because it is a new year, and the round loaf. Well, the reason why that. Okay, cool. Thanks. And that's cardamom. Now, the reason why they did it in the round loaf is the significance of the circle of the year, that you've come full circle. Okay. Now I've got my breads here. These guys are rising. Now, these guys are probably going to be another 15 minutes, probably maybe even longer than that before they'll be ready to go. And same with these guys, okay? But you can see that they're starting to rise. They're getting nice and tall. It's definitely proofing up here, okay? And but they'll probably go in, again, probably in about 20 minutes or so. But the circle significance is the year as it goes around, a year and year and year. Just the cycle of the circle of life, or however you want to call it. But it's kind of cool that they make it round like that just for Rosh Hashsannah. Now, if you're looking at people that are classic Jewish, they're going to have Phelan. Hey, Phelan, thanks for joining. Cool. Thanks for saying hi. The holiday challah is classic round for the New Year's because of the year. You've come full circle. Then also, but the other challah breads, that's just typically a braided, and it's usually a free form. Okay. All right, you guys. Now, do you guys have? I know I've been yakking away here, but have you guys have any other questions, or we'll take a look at the loaves of bread here as we part. Okay, I appreciate that. Now I'm going to do another scope a little bit later. Probably it's going to be about an hour. These guys will be out of the oven, so I'll show you what it looks like. And again, the other thing I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to brush with egg wash. Okay, and a little bit. I'm actually going to try one with some honey on it too. Okay, so we'll have a coating on them there. That's going to give them a nice golden finish to them. So, you know, I appreciate you guys joining tonight. All right, thank you very much for joining there. And so this is Brian Larson. I'm in Virginia Beach doing the Rosh Hashsannah Holiday Challah. Where can I get your recipe? Oh, you can email me at brian@breadscope. I need to put a little sign up here. We just moved into the garage, and this is my little play area. So, oh, you watch Ryan? Oh, do you watch Ryan Steinelson? Oh, that's awesome. Will I scope again? Yeah, tonight I'm going to be scoping once the breads come out. Once these guys come out of the oven, I'm going to do another short scope. I promise it'll be short. Yeah, brian@breadscope.com. Yes, yep, yeah, that's it. You just email me there. I'll just copy and paste it. That's it right there. Brian, that's BRIAN @breadscope.com. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys for joining. All right, appreciate that. And just drop me an email. And then, gosh, the SD, you are the bomb. You catch me, /BLars at 63. And I appreciate you guys stopping in. And, and if you guys are going to make some challah bread, if you're going to make some challah bread, email me, or if you want, if it's easier, you can just post, DM me on Twitter. That's probably easier. Or even I'll get you my number. You can text me. So as you're going through it, I'll kind of coach you along. So that way you can have a good, successful challah bread. And because there's just a couple little tips that you kind of want to watch for, I'd be happy to coach you guys along here, okay? I love it. It's fun. And once you can start making a good loaf of bread, it's amazing. It's awesome here. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Thanks for joining. Thanks for enjoying. Bless you guys, and I'll check back here probably in about an hour once the bread comes out. Okay? Have a good night. Thanks a lot.